every time I thought I felt sorry for myself, I said, that's just what the cancer wants me to do. I had always, all my life, ridden in three-day eventing. I started as a teenager, and I actually represented Ireland in a European Championships a long time ago, back as far as 1967. And then I actually went to live in England and still kept up the eventing, but then when I came back to Ireland, my father had a couple of homebred horses and I started eventing them. And I had a wonderful little thoroughbred mare called Amoy, which took me to badminton, to World Championships, to European Championships. And she was 5th and 3rd at the badminton horse trials. And that was actually, I think it was 40 years ago this year, that someone actually equaled my placing in badminton. My father had always had a few horses under permit, and my brother was an amateur rider, and then he was a trainer. I was always surrounded by thoroughbreds and by racehorses. And so I'd always been brought up. My husband was a bloodstock agent, and when I married him, he had a permit to train, and after a couple of years, I took that on and started just with a permit to train and just training our own horses. And it sort of kind of grew from there. We sort of decided that we might as well try and make it a business, and that's how it started. And the first year I started, which is now 34 years ago, as a public trainer, I started, I think with 6 or 8 horses, and it has now grown into what the yard is now. I knew a lot about getting horses fit and fitting horses, because when I was eventing, we used to do roads and tracks. Then we had a good 1.75 mile steeplechase, and then more roads and tracks, and then the cross country. So it was a proper endurance test, and so the horses had to be very fit. And so I suppose I learned from that about getting horses fit, and also I learned a lot about keeping them the soundnesses and trying to keep horses sound and healthy. There weren't very many women trainers in Ireland when I started out, and then in fact all the sort of the clerks of the courses, the stewards, everything, they were all male. You were entering very much a male environment. But I think they sort of looked at me, and when I started, I had 3 older children and 1 small child, and they thought, oh, she won't take long before she'll have to go back and look after our children and our husband. But I stuck at it and proved them wrong. I do most things by instinct. Okay, the yearlings come in, there is a regime, they follow the fitness regime, which is there, but then after that you start looking at the individuals, seeing how they're developing, and training what you see rather than what you think you want to see. It comes as a shock when you are told it, and then every time I thought I felt sorry for myself, I said, that's just what the cancer wants me to do. Let's come on, shake yourself out and be positive and go forward. And I think that if you can talk to people, and you can talk to anyone really, and be open, and then have an attitude that you are going to get the better of this thing, and be positive. Go out, look at the horses, whatever happens, go for a walk, do something in the garden, however small, just keep busy. And I must say, I found the horses were great therapy. They gave you an incentive to get up in the morning. They gave you the delight of seeing them working and improving, and some going forward and some going backward. It just was amazing.